Have you ever wondered why you just eat and eat and eat and can't seem to stop? Well, my guest today, Joanna Cameron, might have some answers for you. She's got a terrific book, Forget Diets, Plant Tomatoes or Tomatoes, a metaphoric hypnotic journey to stop emotional eating. Welcome to the show. And tell me, Joanna, why do we eat emotionally anyway? Where does that come from?
Well, it's a very good question, Michelle. First of all, I'm delighted to be here. And do we eat emotionally? So you might want to think about this. Do you eat when you're bored? Do you eat when you're stressed? Do you eat when you're lonely? Do you eat when you're anxious?
Yes, yes.
I know, but the trouble is if it becomes a struggle so that you feel that it's occupying your thinking. And for my clients as a hypnotherapist, they come to see me, and to be honest, many of them are in tears because they feel they spend their lives thinking about food, and they feel guilty about it, and they also feel that they're missing their life. So emotional eating, then, I have defined at the beginning of the book. And yes, we all do this at times, but the question is it to the point that you really want to change your thinking? Is it interfering with your life?
You obviously have an accent. You're from the UK originally, right?
I am British, yes.
Yes. Are these same issues in the UK? It seems like a very sort of American thing to eat emotionally.
Oh, no. We are struggling with emotional eating, I can assure you, in the UK also. And in childhood, we now have lots of children who are also obese. And obesity is probably endemic in this country, and it's one of the main issues that we have for the health of the nation. So I believe there'll be lots of people who are interested in what I have to say here.
Oh, absolutely. I'm interested in if there was a shift. I mean, how suddenly did we come to stuff our emotions? It doesn't seem like that was something my grandparents ever talked about or had a problem with. Was there some sort of cultural shift that suddenly it became all right to just eat no matter what was coming up?
Well, I think that with all the information that we now have, and because children's lives have changed as well, they don't have the freedom that they used to have to exercise and do other things. Everything has to be organized by parents who are increasingly stressed because they have many other things going on with their life. And that's a big part of the problem. And also because there's an incredible number of horrible additives in food that make people fat.
Yeah.
So
they're addictive, aren't they? Some of
Yeah.
those additives are actually addictive. They add salt and specific
Yeah.
kinds of additives so that we will come back and eat more and more and more and more.
Right.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Now, in your book, you actually take us through some examples and some real life people who've gone through some emotional eating. You're a hypnotherapist. For the average person, it sounds like, oh my gosh, that's a little scary. I'm going to be hypnotized. Maybe some people think, they're going to have to jump around like a monkey or whatever it is that, the sort of the Hollywood version of what hypnotherapy or hypnosis might be.
I'm also a hypnotist, and that's the first thing that people always ask me. I work under the name of the trance lady here in the States, all over the world, and the first thing they ask me is, am I going to quack like a duck?
Right.
And the truth is, I can't make people do anything that they don't want to do. I always say, I can't make you rob a bank. So you are in charge of your morals. There's no way that I can affect those. All hypnosis is a state of relaxation. And the truth is that we all experience this on a day-to-day basis. You have to hypnotize yourself to fall asleep. It's any time that you feel really, really focused and relaxed. It's a very, very good feeling. So we all do it. It's not a big deal, actually. It's not what I do, the hypnotist does. It's actually what you do in your head.
I like that. Now, you have some MP3s that come along with the book and take us through, but is there something that I can just do day to day or something that our viewers and audience could do when they're reaching for that cookie? You know, is it too late by the time they're reaching for the cookie?
It's never too late. It's never too late. The book is about how do we change thinking. And basically there are four ingredients to changing thinking. First of all, you have to be aware. So we keep inventories of what you eat. This is a how-to book. You have to do things. You know, pen to paper, there's something about that. It affects the brain. But you also keep inventories of triggers. And then you have to take responsibility. That's a key ingredient of change. And then you have to be motivated. You have to find value in what you're doing. And the fourth step of any change is to take action. And that, in our book, means setting goals. So, to answer your question, change comes when you make these underlying changes with the unconscious mind. Because I always tell people, if you could have changed consciously, then you'd have already done it. You come to me because you want to change unconsciously. If you want to change unconsciously, then you need to talk to the unconscious mind, which is the realm of hypnosis. That's what it is. It's talking to the unconscious mind. That's what this book is about. Now, I also use NLP techniques, and those are about how we can quickly change emotional state. And yes, there are things that you can do. I introduce tapping. There are very many techniques that I introduce as well, but gradually, as you start doing things differently, then you are creating new behavior patterns where they used to be old. And that's what it's about. It's about new thoughts, new behavior patterns. Most things that are out there, most diets, all they do is cause people to obsess about food. And this book deals with the cause of emotional eating rather than the result. Everything else is just a gimmick and a fad. Sorry, readers, but that's the way it is. It doesn't work over the long time. And to be honest, that's part of the pain of emotional eating. It is this constant sense of failure. I've lost the weight, then I gained it again. And it is a loss of self-esteem, then more shame, then more food. It's a downhill cycle. And it's very distressing to people. People, as I say, they often arrive in tears.
How long does it take to change your patterns and your habits? Some people, I've heard 6 weeks. Can you make all these changes in 6 weeks? What's your experience?
Oh, yes. You know, I like to tell people that I actually believe that change begins in an instant. It's an instant that you have a new thought. You may spend 10 or 15 years thinking, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. But when you actually decide, you actually wake up one morning and you say, no, I've had it with that. Then in that moment, you've changed. So change is not as difficult as many people think. You know, you have many, many options for change. And I always tell my clients, you are the person that you said you always wanted to be. The results are inside you. The you is there. You just have to seize her or him.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, so it's all in the unconscious. So you take us through some relaxations, hypnotherapy, some ideas, pen to paper, important, how to keep track of what's working, what's not working, what your triggers are, your eating habits, and some tapping, EFT, NLP. All these tools together is your recipe to help people stop that emotional eating. What did I leave out?
Oh, and they do stop, Michelle. I mean, the book has been on sale for a while, but I'm already getting messages from clients. I'm tweeting these messages. People are letting go of weight. And more importantly, they're just feeling really happy. The book means basically, forget diets, plant tomatoes. As I say, plant tomatoes in my English accent. But the book means basically, you know, when you stop obsessing about it, then you just do something else. And I have reached out. I've made a color book. It's a book to appeal to the imagination, which of course is the unconscious mind. It contains poetry. It contains over 2 hours of MP3s. You will be hypnotized, of course, and you need to listen to these in your home rather than in your car. And it works. What happens is people begin to feel just really present in their lives.
Mm.
And that's all we can really want, isn't it, as human beings, to be really present. Because if you're anxious, then you're not present in your life. You're just projecting your fears into the future, and you're not living in the moment. And that, unfortunately, is when most people reach for food. But you cannot have that. You cannot be hypnotized and relaxed at the same time. But the truth is, the more you do it, the more you find that you are just really present. And when you're really present, when you're really focused, when you're in the correct, happy emotional state, then you're not going to reach for the donuts.
Right. And if you do reach for that cookie and you're in the moment, you're doing it consciously, not out of habit or some emotional eating or unconscious behavior.
There's nothing, really wrong with a donut occasionally.
Right.
I mean, your unconscious mind does not like to be deprived. Deprivation just causes more food. It doesn't like that. The unconscious mind is the mind of preference. The conscious mind is the mind of choice. But we all know in the end, preference wins. Unless we have changed our underlying beliefs. Unless we have really had a really good look at our emotions and how they are connected with food. And that's what this book does. You can download the Kindle app for PC or the Kindle app for Mac, and then download my book, and you can read the book on your PC, and of course you'll be directed to go to my website where you download the 30 MP3s that are associated with the book.
The book is Forget Diets, Plant Tomatoes.
Tomatoes, Michelle? You say plant tomatoes?
I did.
You did, yes.
A metaphoric hypnotic journey to stop emotional eating with Joanna Cameron. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much,
It's been a
Michelle, for
pleasure.
having me. Yeah, thank you.